Um, this teaching today is for the watchman. Um, Many of us out there, we say we are watchmen, and the watchmen, the sad truth is that many are not watchmen. If we follow man, then we are really not the watchmen we should be. A true watchman follows the true teacher, Jesus. They are mocked, ridiculed, called false prophets, and do not seek their own glory, but the glory of truth that will deliver souls from the sword. Their passion is to help people be informed, to warn them of the sword coming. We are accused of putting fear into people, misinforming people, and causing others to stumble, which could not be further from the truth. Very soon now, the watchman will have to direct the people where to go for safety. This is our calling from the Lord. Ezekiel 33:3 tells us that the watchmen have a very important job that he or she take very serious. And if when he seeth the sword cometh upon the land, he bloweth the trumpet and warn the people, then whosoever heareth the sound of the trumpet and taketh not warning, if the sword come and take him away, his blood shall be upon his own head. Now the job of the watchman is to inform people. Now we might not always hit it right on the mark every time, but at least we're out there trying. Isaiah 52:8 says, Thy watchmen shall lift up thy voice, with the voice together shall they sing, for they shall see eye to eye when the Lord shall bring again to Zion. Zechariah 3:9 says, For behold, the stone that I have laid before Joshua, those entering into the 1,000-year reign are the Joshuas. Upon one stone 7 eyes. Behold, I will engrave the engraving thereof, saith the Lord of hosts, and I will remove the iniquity of that land in one day. The 7 eyes are the 7 churches of faith that are built with the Spirit of God. They were built in 2012. In Zechariah 4:6 it says, not by my power, but by my Spirit. God is building His church, His temple, with the Spirit, His Spirit. So this is the temple that God has put together. He built this in 2012 with His Spirit when He called all the churches to open their doors in Brownwood, Texas for 7 nights and 7 days. A lady got a word from God to tell all the churches to open up their doors. Well, this wasn't by coincidence that God set this in order. God knew who to put in place, and God did this. And I've already showed you this several times. But this is, I'm a watchman, okay? And it's very important that we know what to do when judgment hits, because a lot of people are not going to know what to do. And so the interesting thing about it is, in Zechariah, God tells us, and watchmen are true Jews. They are Jews by faith. Okay, now that's what makes up a true Jew, is a Jew by faith. Let me read this to you. Let's see. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, in those days that 10 men shall take a hold out of all the languages of the nations, even shall take hold of the skirt of him that is a Jew, saying, we will go with you, for we have heard that God is with you. Okay, now that is a watchman. It's a true Jew, a Jew by faith. So the watchmen are the ones responsible for telling people where to go when judgment hits. Jeremiah 31:6 says, For there shall be a day that the watchman upon Mount Ephraim is the Jews by faith, shall cry, Arise ye, and let us go up to Zion, and to the Lord our God. Isaiah 60 and verse 1 says, Arise, shine, for thy light is come, and the glory of the Lord is risen upon thee. Brownwood, Texas is where God has chosen to place His people of light, people of faith are in Brownwood, Texas. These are the 7 people. We know 7 of these people had faith, or they wouldn't have opened the doors in 2012. And their doors stayed open for 7 nights and 7 days. Okay, when Isaiah 10:12 says, "Wherefore it shall come to pass that when the Lord has performed his whole work upon Mount Zion and on Jerusalem." Now, Mount Zion, as I told you once before, is not only Brownwood, Texas, but it's also the rock. The rock is Mount Zion, and Jerusalem is also on that rock. And the Bible talks about in Zechariah 8:7 that God is going to save his people from the east country, which is Jerusalem, and the west country, which is Texas. Okay? So it's all on one rock. "Thus saith the Lord of hosts, Behold, I will save my people from the east country and from the west country." Okay, so God's will is for us to come to the light. Just as in the days of Noah, so it will be when judgment happens and the sword is brought upon the world to divide those that hear and obey the voice of God, and to divide those that don't hear and obey the voice of God. So you have 2 groups of people. You have those that are the obedient children, and those that are the disobedient children. Now, the obedient children are going to have faith, and they're going to hear the voice of God, and they're going to obey the voice of God. Now, the Esau's you have 3 groups of people. The Esau's are the ones that are lost. Okay, now there's going to be a lot of lost people that get saved on this one day. I want to paint this picture that will happen when the bride comes to the marriage supper. Noah heard the screams of his family members begging and pleading for them to let them on board whenever judgment happened and the flood happened. All these people that mocked Moses and didn't believe Noah, didn't believe Noah, they believed him when judgment happened. And that's what's going to happen again. Now, we can't help these people. We can only pray for these people that they will come to the light, because there's nothing we can do to help them. God has shut the door. He shut the door in the days of Noah. Now, we will have 7 doors opened for all that want to come to the light, because it's just like God says, He has brought. The bride cannot leave to help others. Now, in Song of Solomon 8:8, we have had it. This is a very plain verse for me. It may not be for y'all, but for me, it's very plain. A Song of Solomon 8:8. We have a little sister, and she has no breast. In other words, she's a baby Christian. What shall we do in the day that when she is spoken for? Now, that's the day of the marriage supper. Okay, verse 9 says, "If she be a wall, we will build upon her palaces of silver. And if she be a door, we will enclose her with boards of cedar." Well, if she leaves, once she gets in the marriage supper, then there's nothing we can do for her. She will be enclosed with boards of cedar, which means that she will die. Because anyone that leaves once they get in will be in a dangerous position with God, because you can't fight against God. Acts 5:39 says, "But if it be of God, you cannot overthrow it, lest haply you be found even to fight against God." When judgment happens and the indignation happens and people are being killed, just like in the days of Noah, there's nothing we can do. I mean, if we leave the protection of the marriage supper, then we have found ourselves in a dangerous position with God. So if you're a watchman, I hope that you will pray on this, because Brownwood, Texas is Zion. Brownwood, Texas is Eden, but God just can't tell us it's Eden. But Brownwood, Texas is the chosen place. And if you're a true watchman, you're going to hear the voice of God. And I pray that you will direct people to Brownwood, Texas. I have got nothing to gain from this except for just trying, like y'all are, just trying to warn people when the sword's coming. God bless you, and this teaching is only for the watchmen because the regular people can't handle this kind of teaching. God bless you. Thank you.